Manscaped. I got special nut trimmers. Let your guest sleep over. Hey, bro, you need to trim your face. That shit right there. You're the second guest.
The second guest?
Recording I've gotten to sit down with.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I want to talk about it as well because obviously you have like an OG status with the FGC in a sense.
All right. Somewhat.
I mean, if you were like, I think OGs would be like if you were around before 09.
Oh yeah,
I would definitely consider that an OG.
I was playing like DOA 4 back then.
Yo,
so like that was like what, 6, 07? So yeah.
But yeah, so with DOA 4, it's still your favorite DOA, isn't it?
Yeah, I still go back to DOA 4 and just play it, but like I'm nowhere near as good as I used to be. Yeah. I used to like know frames and shit.
That shit always sucks though. Like the more when you actually just because no matter how much you played it, muscle memory is there for the most part. Like when you're playing the game, your hands don't feel foreign, but you know the specifics are obviously gone.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like there's certain like optimal combos that I remember from certain characters. Like I remember Spartan's optimal combos, but I don't remember like my team combos because I played a lot of team.
And 4 had teams too.
Huh? Yeah, 4 had teams. 4. I think 4 was the first. No, 3 was the first one with teams. I think. And then they brought them back for like DOA 2 Extreme.
But teams are not like tag, right? Are those different?
Oh no, my bad. Tag.
Okay, cool. All right. Because I was like, okay, teams usually refer to like multiple characters on one team.
Yeah.
With DOA, their tag mechanic is so fucked.
Yeah, I love their tag mechanic because it's like it's a few frames. It's not like, oh, I gotta wait for like a second or something. Like that shit is instant. You can just like combo immediately. I used to love that shit.
All right.
Do some crazy shit.
So as you know, you're a producer, not a producer.
Mm-hmm.
So you make beats, some beat tapes, as they might say. Fucking used to be a
I got one that's like a year in. It's late. Yeah.
So competitive player. Naruto. Man is a Naruto historian.
Historian?
I think I didn't think there was a level like that deep until I think you're showing that it's that deep.
Yeah, I wasn't even like the best out there in my like area either. Like there was this game named, well, when I say area, I mean like the online community that we had. There was this one guy named Maki, and he was.
Hey.
I probably beat him 2 out of like 12 games or some shit. And even then, if he played his best character, I wasn't getting no dubs.
Interesting. So it's like one of those things because Naruto does have legacy knowledge. Like as much as normal people would like to say, like, you know, fighting games, like, you know, that's not, you know, Tekken's a legacy game. Now Naruto's Storm is a legacy game. They have characters that are literally untouched from past entries.
For real, dog. So actually, in Storm 4, they changed a lot of stuff from like the older characters. So like, for example, Kid Kakashi, like younger Kakashi, he had an immediate invulnerable special that he could do out of block.
And it's a Chidori, right?
Chidori, yeah, because it went under most attacks.
Yo, so it was like a DP.
Yeah, it was worse than a DP. You could do it off of fucking blocking a string. And if the string was too slow, you just go right under it and hit them. They either got to eat it or they got to burn a sub.
Yeesh.
And he had the same property on his tilt, but his tilt went above people.
Right, so right. Which one's his tilt? Is that the one where he like does the upward air slash? Like that one where he like jumps and does that? Oh, all right.
Yeah, that move, it also had the not frame perfect, but the frame 1 invincibility.
That shit's fucked up. You know a character has that like in modern fighting games? Tusk from Killer Instinct.
Tusk is a different breed though.
No, he is. But I mean like he has this thing that like wins every trade interaction. It's like an invincibility frame on his moves. That if you guys crash on a certain frame, he'll win every time, taking no damage. It's pretty
That's
fun.
pretty
It's pretty
neat.
funny. That's just what it just reminded me of. Like when like I'm always trying to fish for that one frame where it's like, all right, bonk, and it's just like, get out of here, kid. Different game.
Word. I'm playing a different game to you, my boy.
And you're also on a hiatus for making beats right now, right? You're still on that hiatus?
Yeah, it's mostly because I still have this beat tape, and it's like I don't want to make something new without putting that out. So like I have a bunch of stuff on the back burner. It's like I don't know. I guess I'm depressed, but a different type of depressed. It's like that depression where you just like doing shit
type shit
kind of thing.
All right, I feel you. Yeah, usually, do you think you get that from staying inside too much? Though I think we are like all introverted, and we prefer staying inside. I feel like sometimes staying inside too much or too much of the same shit makes that everything uninteresting.
Yeah, I think it made it worse for me when I started when I stopped going to tournaments. Because like the tournament stuff really kept my drive. Yeah, and it like kept my drive going too.
But like refreshing your real life.
Oh yeah. Not really. It's just pretty much just gaming and that's really
true. Yeah,
it.
you've been fucking up some Destiny the last like couple of weeks.
Bro. It's mostly because I used to be a real big Destiny fan in Destiny 1. And then when Destiny 2 came out, they like took away everything from Destiny 1. And I just lost interest. And then when I got back into it, because my homie got me back into it.
I was there the day you got abducted.
Abducted. That's a good word for it. He kind of forced me to play. He was like, "Here, money." I was like, "Fuck." And then I looked and I was like,
as a person.
Like friends that would do that?
No. It's not about friends. It's about I don't actually care how much money someone spends on me if I genuinely don't like I don't want to do it.
Well, I had it like in my mind. I was like, that'd be fun, but I don't know. And then I was like,
well, if I don't, maybe if I had an incentive of like DLC because I'm so far behind. Yeah,
exactly. And that happened. He gave me the whole fucking package. I'm like, damn, bro, really? And all right. And I was like, wow, this is what I missed. I was excited and shit. So
fucking, because I know with
now
David, I told him like, yo, like, don't buy me Guilty Gear Strive. I literally won't play it. Like, I
tell people that now. I tell like, yo, please don't, because I'm not gonna play it. I'm literally only gonna play Destiny.
I don't know. For me, I'm just like trying to spice up daily life with just more like in a sense working out, like where I'll just fucking been stretching my legs because I bought one of those Chinese ropes that like with a foot holder that you like attach the shit and then like wheel it up, like
the bungee thing.
But
I know what you're talking
but it's like a fucking rope version where you just pull the rope to lift your leg up.
I got you.
Yeah. So I've been doing that recently a lot to get my legs back because I did a jump kick really high. Like I leaped off the floor into a fucking straight kick and then I pulled something. So I haven't been able to kick like up over my head anymore until like really recently.
Okay, word. All those tendons had to heal up.
Yeah, because I did it and I was like, yeah, that's what's up. And then I did it like 6 times in a row with no stretching. I didn't even know I could do that. And then I was like, well, if I do it 1 time and I do it 3 times, it should be cool 5 more times. No, it really wasn't. I don't know why the fuck I did that, but I do that shit all the time.
Yeah, I've been starting to stretch more lately too, because like I used to be like real tired after working and stuff like that. I'm just like, let me stretch more. Let me like sit down on breaks instead of standing up all the time. And I'm just like, all right, it's working out.
Quality of life changes. Tekken, I wish they knew something like that.
Shit. Nah, Tekken's been doing a good job. They've been doing a good job.
They really haven't. I'm tired of their shit. They do like one good change Gigas every 7 years. Not even about Gigas, is I'm tired of their characters. Like the characters they decide to buff bother the fuck out of me. Like why do they keep buffing Brian every season? Huh?
Because
why they buffing Fang every season?
So they got to give Brian something, bro.
They really
Brian used
don't.
to have counter hit, soccer kick, launch.
No,
Think
yeah,
about
yeah.
that.
It used to launch completely. Now it's a counter hit launcher. Like now, I mean, it's a
No, no,
counter hit. It's a counter hit
it's a
knockdown
counter hit knockdown.
near wall.
Yeah.
It's a launcher straight up.
Nah, it was a big launcher, real
It was,
launcher.
and it was back in the day, right? But
Yeah, it was like
um,
what's it called?
Vanilla is
Beta.
terrible.
Yeah, but
Like
yeah.
Vanilla Tekken is like the worst Tekken 7 ever. Shaheen was like top 3. That
Bro,
character's toolkit must have been so fucking absurd. I couldn't believe it. Like his hopkick's still annoying.
it's because a lot of the stuff in the game, there weren't true punishes for stuff unless you were a legacy character.
Yeah,
So
that
like
makes
a
sense.
lot of characters had like safe stuff or like funky launches on stuff.
Mm.
Because like remember Claudio's hop kick used to be super absurd. Like it's good now, but it was crazy back
They
then.
probably decreased the range.
Yeah, they decreased the range. They made it so that it does well still
Dude, fucking
sometimes
forward
goes
3 mid.
under highs.
Forward
But it
3
used
mid is
to
crazy.
4-3 mid was OD. I
That's
used
literally
to
his back
take
one,
advantage
but a
of that.
launcher.
Yep, exactly.
It was
Well,
really
back
good.
one, it's still counter hit launches. It's just not as good.
Back one, I don't. Does it counter hit launch?
Yeah, it's just butt.
Okay, that was what I was saying. Because back one's like the best poke in the game.
It's a very good poke. Yeah, I agree.
It's like a
It's just
it's like
it's
a
a
top
little
10 mid.
slow.
Yeah, no, that's what makes it good. Is the fact that its active animations are so long.
Where
And he
it's
also
also
steps
really
back with it.
yeah, but you don't get anything after you do back one. Like
Oh,
after back
that's
one,
brilliant.
you lose your turn.
Yeah,
So
Claudio doesn't want his like if he hits you, he doesn't really need Oki because of his whole kit is like spacing. Like he's like, let me hit you with this. Now I'm back to range 3, where you wish you were in range 1, but you're not, bitch. You're in range 3. Come back in.
honestly, if Claudio had a good low, I should say a better low.
I'd say I rue the
Because his
day.
lows are decent. Lows are pretty decent.
Yeah, down 4.
But like if
good.
he had a fucked up,
oh man,
if he had a better low, he would definitely be a top character.
well, if you could pick
like,
one
he's
low
just
from
such-
any character, who would you give it to Claudio? Like which low would you replace him? What would you give it?
All right, so I'd take down back 3, and I'd give him Fang Side Step 4.
That's fucked up.
It's still launch punishable, but it's ambiguous. Down back 3 is also ambiguous, but it barely gives him anything.
Yeah, down back 3 it only gives it on counter hit, and it's like +5 on hit, but it's a launch. Against in some matchups, like I think the move is pretty good in general, with like the fact that it's like, it's barely seeable. It is seeable if you're like looking for it, but not everyone can launch it.
Yeah, it's wild because I had to learn the hard way that I can be launched, because I never got launched by it for a while until I fought a Kazuya and I got launched. I was like, oh,
I always step that shit the wrong direction too. Like whenever we played, I always step to the left, but that moves you have to step it to the right. Which I was
see, the
like,
thing about
before.
stepping, I gotta learn stepping certain moves, because I always mess that up too. So I know how you feel.
For me, I try to isolate moves because Gigas can only step jabs, and in certain situations. So a lot of the time is that I'll put someone in like jab range, and I'll just keep pestering them, and then I'll step up and then step right. That if they try to retaliate, and then they're in whiff range.
Word.
Fucking But is there any like shit like DOA that you were like that had like bad balance? Anything in particular?
Bad balance?
Yeah, like where there was like just characters that were too overtuned.
I remember when Rachel came out for DOA 5.
All right.
And that was a character that was nutty. Her and Mai Shurina,
You're talking about
they were
KOF,
both
bitch.
really nutty. Yeah, they were both nutty characters when they came out.
Yeesh.
I still don't think Mai is balanced, but she's way less crazy than she used to be.
So in their fucking so in their peak, what was like especially annoying about them? Where like Leroy was like, he had the fucking 3-frame parry, and he had like all these pokes that would all launch and reach range 5. So what was like especially annoying, yeah?
So you know how there's different terrain in DOA, right?
Different terrain.
and different like slopes and stuff like that.
Yo,
And
yeah, different terrains. Yeah, I fucking love that shit.
so there were, so you know how Rachel can restand with her grab, right?
Yeah.
So not restand, but like
I know what you mean.
reposition a combo.
Mm-hmm.
She can just loop combos. So if you were on a specific uneven terrain, she can loop for a very long time.
Because the height would just
And
keep changing.
yeah, and you could get smoked. Like your health bar would just drain because of that. And then Mai was just a really good character, just in general. She had good like everything, good pokes. She had a projectile. Like, when do you see projectiles and that aren't butt and slow?
And in DOA, their fastest speeds are they're moving forward. So yeah, I could see that being pretty annoying because in DOA characters move fast as fuck.
Yeah, I can't even think of a character with a projectile that's usable. Other than mine.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because I'm trying to think of like if we start lowering the definition of what a projectile is, then maybe we could start like maybe John Lee's flying kicks or some shit. We start changing the definition.
Bro, no. One where your hurt box isn't in jeopardy.
Yeah, all right, I feel you. So it's like all Leo moves, just moves like that.
And all Leo moves. Dog.
That character is so annoying.
You don't like Leo still?
Nah.
I know you didn't like Leo before.
Nah, that character, I'm still free against Leo. I don't like fighting that character at all. It's because it's too guess.
You don't like being in the blender.
Yeah, it's just like I remember my way to answer the blender was just getting hit by the hell sweep twice. I'll just stay down. Fuck it. You're gonna hit me with that. I'm getting reset. I'm not sitting up.
I'm not sitting up. I feel that.
But you know what I always wish Tekken did? Is steal DOA's shit. I've been thinking about it so much recently. I'm like, why? Why haven't they?
They kind of started with the wall crumble thing.
No, but what I'm saying is like DOA's personality is what is different. Is like each character they'll have a move like that, and it's all like unique. And then like if they have kind of like like anytime they have every character would run down the same animation differently. Like in the elevator thing in DOA 6, if they knock you down not every character is just gonna run down and jump down the elevator. People are gonna flip down the elevator. Because they're like fucking everyone's just so different in the games, and Tekken needs to start doing that. Like every wall break would be different. Like each character has a different jump down, has a different like little thing they do during the jump. That'd be really cool. It's like windows, water, puddles, cars, highways. I want them to take it all. Coconuts. Tekken needs to start like making like people randomly shoot during the game, and they shoot onto the stage, and you like walk them over to the bullets, and the guy just instant loses or some shit. That'd be so funny.
So it's funny that you say something like that because Tekken 4 really drove stuff like that home. Like a lot of environmental stuff. People in the background,
Yep.
You could break stuff in the environment. But the issue was that some of the terrain would promote defensive play and stalling.
That's
true. A big no-no. So that's probably why they didn't bring terrain and stuff like that back.
Like where I'm guess like a little different is like with DOA how they lay it out is very on purpose. Like where the environment is so it's so creative. Where like I'm just thinking of like the shrine, like the little shrine stage with all the grass, where like there is like a part of it over there that's wet, and then to the right there's a slope that goes down to a different stage, and it's like all these different layouts in the environment that you have to position around. In Tekken 4 they did this shit, and it was like you just have to deal with it. In DOA technically you can hold and move and maneuver out of your way to not be disadvantaged. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I got you.
And combos aren't even that long in DOA either. Like they're mostly just resets of like reads.
Yeah. Well, DOA 6 kind of
with holds. That's just fucked up. No, 200% with the fucking with the yellow meter, where they fucking activate that shit and you just fucking die. Nah.
Yeah, meter. I don't know how I feel about meter because
every fighting game needs to stop having them.
Yeah, it was so different. It took away from the core of the game, honestly. It was nice because it made it more accessible. to people that didn't really play DOA, but in the end, it was too core to the game. But then again, every DOA brings something new to the table, so I could see why.
That makes sense.
Because DOA 5 had the critical stuns, where you literally couldn't do anything after getting hit by one. You just eat a launch. DOA 5 had the meter, obviously. DOA 4... I can't even think of what DOA 4 had.
DOA 4 had fucking death from environments.
Oh, high kicks. High kicks. Forgot about that. High wake up kicks. Sorry.
Yeah. All right, that's interesting. Yeah, because of the high, mid, low. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I do like that.
Yeah, they took that away, which is kind of weird.
I think they're trying to make it more simple, in a sense. I don't know. I feel like in Tekken, I mean, like with fighting games in general, as the time ages, they're trying to break down complex subjects into like less options. Like where, I don't know, like with getting rid of wall jumps in Tekken 7.
Wall jumps?
I mean, not wall jumps, but like wake up like Oki wall jumps where you like jump behind them and kick them from behind.
Whoa!
They patched that out. In the most recent patch. So you know how like Spiro, where your character tech rolls and you jump behind them on the tech roll? They got rid of all that wall. If you jump behind them and kick them from behind, they'll just block.
I did not know that.
It's so fucked up because I was joking with Spiro for the longest time, saying like that's a 20-year oversight. I don't even know what kind of fucking RNG this puts in a match. And then they got rid of it, and then I'm like, damn, that was my favorite part of like modern Tekken is just me like setting up Oki, then taking my big ass character and jumping behind them and hitting them. And then everyone's like, what the fuck just happened to me? And I'm like, yeah, you don't know about that, kiddo. Sit down. I love that shit. Then they patched it out. Now I'm still doing it. And now I'm just doing it out of being depressed. Like, damn.
Damn, this was hype at one point. Golly.
Oh, man. I'm just like, I feel like a fucking 40-year-old that caught the yard pass to win the game. I'm just like, you know, man, this fucking this jump over tech, oh, you would have been so fucked like one patch ago.
Word. Damn, man. I did not know they took that out.
Yeah, they just patched that out.
This is how little Tekken I play, man. I need to start playing again.
Yo, you sleeping?
I am sleeping. Word. It is the future. You damn skippy it is.
I'm glad I'm so far ahead. For the next game. I think I'm like, it just how good I am at the game. Like I have a big heads up. I'm too bad I'm undisciplined and very stubborn. I would be so good if I wasn't.
I feel that.
Oh, gee willikers. No one would be able to stop me.
You can't stop me, son. Word.
King Kong ain't got shit on me. Fucking Denzel got the Oscar because of that role. Let's go.
That's a good ass movie, dog.
Training Day is a classic for sure, 200%.
Oh yeah. Damn Skippy.
Fucking. So I just got my community section on my YouTube. So now I'm able to start advertising to my fans. I mean, to my subs. I don't think I have any fans, genuinely. To my subs.
On the Quarter Clock Show?
Yeah. I can, like, you know, where everyone's like, hey guys, you know, today I've been thinking blah, blah, blah. And it's like just pops up on your feed.
Yeah. You gotta do more sports.
That's possibly true. I mean, I don't even know. I don't even upload videos like that. It's really hard for me to like maintain videos all the time. But,
I can feel that. You gotta be like actively like in the mood.
Yeah, to make videos. Because I mean, like, okay, right. Not only is like it's kind of like performing, in a sense, and where you're just sitting there and trying to come up with, or you're like trying to hype yourself up, and it's like, oh, okay, we're gonna do this, and you have to over exaggerate and embellish, and it's like, you know, that takes energy. I don't know how these people do it.
Some people, they don't show any fucking energy, and they're super popular, like fucking avoiding the puddle, my boy.
Yo, Eris said that, but that's because he's gotten to a level already where his no fuck attitude is actually just so opposite of Twitch's environment, where like he's managed to be so negative and make it a positive. Like I know, like with like very popular Twitch streamers like Soda Poppin, put Eris as an S tier streamer because he said there is no person on Twitch that puts someone in their place and makes it funny.
Hell yeah.
And it's like that just is what it is. Or like with commentary, where Eris gets on commentary being so flagrant because of he was so popular already. Like in the 2005 where that everything was okay, he's already walked through the door, and like he's kind of grandfathered into being negative in a sense.
It's what he's known for, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to portray. Yeah, exactly.
I feel that he's already got the background for it, so he doesn't have to change anything. It's who he is.
It's who he is. Yeah, exactly. So we're like on Twitch, where he's like one of the few channels where he doesn't even have any like highlight messages or anything. Like he bans people who uses stuff like that in his chat.
Wait, say that word again, because I didn't get you.
Highlighted messages.
Highlighted messages.
In
okay,
Twitch,
that's
yeah. You can like use Twitch points or like channel points to like get certain tiers, and he doesn't use channel points at all. I think he's the only one.
Word.
I think that shit's so funny because he says like he doesn't like people bringing it up. Like, why don't you have Twitch like fucking channel points? And he's like, "Fucking, what are you trying to get me in trouble with Twitch? What are you asking for?"
Word.
Twitch recently has been kicking off a lot of people, like banning them.
Yeah, because people have been kind of pushing the guidelines.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And like, I guess they pushed them too much, and they're like, "All right, now we gotta get rid of some of y'all because y'all doing too much."
Like, have you heard of the lady who had sex on Twitch?
Yeah, so they're picking who they do it to. Yeah, it's kind of wild.
She had a 7-day ban.
Yeah, I heard about that. I was like, "What?"
And then it got extended to a 21-day ban because she threatened to shoot up Twitch. A 21-day ban for something like that? That's crazy. Both of those are permanent offenses. I think Mango, like the Melee player, he was
I know who Mango is.
Yeah, I didn't know if I was saying his name properly. It's where he got banned on Twitch for sleeping while drunk. And then
it was the drinking part.
Yeah, no, you're allowed to drink though. They just didn't like that he got so drunk that he fell asleep. But if that's permanently bannable, then in sex is not. Where's the middle?
Yeah, I don't know, man. They pick and choose
where people sleep on stream. I mean, what's the difference between? There's a girl I know on Twitch that she was sleeping, and her parents were arguing while she was asleep, while the stream was going, and it leaked their address. And then they ended up getting in trouble because they revealed something personal, and they ended up like losing their jobs, like their parents.
What?
And then the girl got kicked out of the house on stream, all while she was like, she woke up to getting kicked out of the house. He's like, "Why the fuck are you streaming yourself asleep with your mic on?" Yeah, like in a family environment, that's weird. I don't like I'm to like a level where like I like keeping when I'm wanting myself alone. I can't like have an environment where it's like cameras all the time. I think that shit's so whack. I feel like that's like, I think if I ever have a kid, I'm going to abandon technology.
I don't think you should. I don't think you should. Technology is too important in our day-to-day lives.
No, though that's true. I just want to wait until they're slightly older.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I want them to develop themselves before being tainted from an online environment.
You don't want to introduce them to the internet and technology too early.
Yeah, then exactly. I want like obviously like more like household things and things that are like electronic and shit. Okay, that's cool. Like we're cool with that. But I think the internet is too, like, even like, okay, my little siblings, they be watching shit on YouTube that's crazy. Kids' YouTube is basically just what can I get away with. That's basically how I look at it. When I see it, it's like, what can people make videos and get away with on kids, on like for under 18 viewers. And I think that shit's not okay. Cause like,
it's funny
that you shit. Go ahead. What were you saying?
It's funny that you talk about like younger people with like YouTube and shit, because there are, you know about Cocomelon?
Yeah, and I definitely know about them.
So it's people say that it's actually bad for children
Mm-hmm.
because it's overstimulation.
Hmm.
There's too many colors, there's too much like noise and stuff, and too many cuts and takes.
Hmm.
So it overstimulates the child and it makes them more prone to being overactive.
Yeah, I could see that. That's pretty interesting when it comes down to like because obviously like with kids with ADHD, that's really easy. Because even
Mm.
like for me, like I'll be like very steady, and then if something gets me too hyped, just even for 1 second, then it's like boom, I'm on like a different wave. I'm not even on the same mellow wave I was on originally.
Word.
So I think yeah, it's really interesting. If I like, cause with it's like with normal kids, kids are not intelligent enough to grasp the nuance of technology of like phones. I feel like
Yeah.
they when you have everything like that, cause like I grew up like I had a CD player growing up and like an
Mm.
MP3 player. I know obviously like those things normal monitor, but I don't think anyone knows about it in fucking MP3 players these days.
I
I,
mean, they still sell iPods, so
that though that is true. I
maybe.
don't think kids would like. I don't think when they does a kid own an iPod? Like, let me find some kid that has an iPod in fucking 2022. I'll fucking give that kid a
Well,
iPod.
now they just integrated the iPhone into the same,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, exactly.
technology.
It's like an iPod Touch or something, right? Like where like it's like that middle ground where it's like I think
Mm.
the minute MP3 players have like touch screens, that shit's too much technology. You gotta wait till you're older for that shit.
Word, word.
What do you think would be a good age for a kid to get a phone?
Honestly, probably like middle school, maybe
Mm.
high school.
I mean, I got mine
They
when I was
should
like
have one
14,
unlimited.
14, 15. I had my first
Yeah, I had
phone.
one when I was 13.
13.
Since I was 13, but I had like a chirp phone. Like
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. I had a
it
touch
wasn't
screen,
that
but it was like
crazy.
a Samsung, the one that like opens up, splits with like half keyboard. It's touch.
Oh, you Sam. So you had a what do they call it?
I don't actually know what they call it specifically because it's not like a sidekick, but it's basically that.
Okay, word,
Where it's like on the whole front is like a 4.5-inch touchscreen, something like that.
word, word.
Yeah, and that kind of shit obviously was like that shit got me so many viruses because I couldn't. I just kept downloading like files, like just like without like looking at the because I had like I was a big into emulation. I
Hmm.
fucking love that shit, like emulating shit, and I always got viruses, and I used to have to keep wiping my shit.
Shit, I'm still into emulation. Shit, I'll be
Yeah,
getting this shit on my phone right now. But
I've realized I don't have the time
nowadays,
for mobile games. I don't know what it is. Where it's like if I'm
mobile
chilling, I'll
games
just
are
play.
different. They're a little different.
Emulators are that to me. Like if I have an emulator on my phone, I would just count it as a mobile game, in a sense.
Shit,
I just can't
nah,
play on my
bro.
phone.
I don't know, man. Well, I don't really play on my phone. I have a controller.
Sure. But if you have like if you're opening it up on your phone, it's really what I'm saying. I would if I would do that, I would just play on PC. Like I don't know. My phone doesn't do anything for me like that. Like unless like I have like a bunch of files or like apps that are like modded where I
Mm,
can get more use out of them, like premium use.
word.
Um, do you use your phone for anything like that?
Not really. It's just normal YouTube,
Hmm.
social media, and playing games when I don't feel like bringing my Switch on the go.
Yeah, you're also not a TikTok guy either, huh?
Nah,
Yeah,
I only really do TikTok if somebody sends me it.
yeah. All right, yeah, same. I'm really like I'm one of the few people I've never downloaded it.
Word. Yeah,
Um,
I just don't want to download it because I know it's gonna be like mind numbing, and
yeah,
it's like,
it is like content based. Like it has a content filter where the stuff you like, they'll recommend more like it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that shit is just like I don't know. It seems like because I did know like at some point I did watch like that U.S. press release when it was owned by like a Chinese company, and
Mm.
then like I guess like the app could like remember your keystrokes on your fucking phone. Like it had a specific permission to read keystrokes, so it like can know
So
people's passwords and shit, and that's crazy. Like, and I'm just like,
Fuck that.
damn. So obviously, technology like social media is actually too powerful for private companies to have. In general, I think. Like even things like Twitter. Twitter should be public. Like the government should run Twitter. Like the UN.
No.
Yeah,
Nah.
I don't think private
Wow.
companies should. I don't know.
The government, bro? The
Not even
government.
like, I just mean like in a sense of it's like
You mean how the
public
internet
domain.
is?
Yeah.
Public domain. Exactly.
Where in a sense
I know
that
what
a
you mean.
government can technically oversee it, use it for like for people like that are doing like illegal shit and things like that. Instead of like, but the fact that Twitter can control like even like public figures or like presidents, that they can like not exist online is like hella crazy. You know what I mean?
Well, they only really get rid of them if they break terms.
Yeah,
Like
but
there's
I
still
mean
some
like,
funky people on there.
I don't know. You know what I mean though. Like the fact that a president can get banned from social discourse online is crazy.
If they get banned from social discourse, that they shouldn't be president. Honestly,
That's true, but I'm saying they are. They are president of a whole country.
yeah, get that shit out.
And they're able to get removed from social places.
So if they did, so you telling me if they send porn, they can't be banned because they're president? Is that what you're saying?
On Twitter they don't ban porn or anything like that. So I mean,
I know.
if they want to, but then like obviously they're not going to get reelected. But
Of course.
I mean, it should be allowed.
I agree. I was just putting up a hypothetical.
Yeah, no, I just mean like that kind of shit is like, I think legitimately it should affect how people view them, but they shouldn't just be allowed. They shouldn't just not exist.
Where
I don't know. I feel like that's like just taking them like that far is like crazy. Obviously,
you're not a
things you
fan
can
of
do.
deplatforming, then?
No, I'm not. No, not in general. I think there's better ways to handle like with people like, okay, right, like Andrew Tate get banned, and then you can ask people, well, you support him being banned. What did he get banned for? No one would tell you. No one knows. He just disappeared.
The issue with him, he wasn't smart in how he spoke.
No, for sure.
Because he could articulate what he did.
Yeah.
And he could just be like, he could have presented it way better, and he would have still had a platform.
Yep, he definitely was.
And what's wild is that most of the stuff that was out wasn't even on his like specific channels.
No,
it was other people.
It's like his image they're banning.
Yeah.
Not even just like, yeah, because he's like, it's so interesting because like I was watching, I think we both watch Abba and Preach, and when they were talking about how the things that Andrew Tate stood for will always have an audience because no one addresses it.
Word.
And it's like that's hella true. Like I think in general, if you just push away problems, there always will be someone worse. Like Andrew Tate,
he wasn't even that bad. That's the crazy part.
No, he wasn't. He could be worse.
He could have been worse. Yeah. Word.
He did have some crazy stances, but in general, most of the things that he involved in were consensual, and people would use them as if they're not. And that's why Ethan recently got fucking banned off YouTube.
I saw that too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was like, well, that's a wrap, bro.
Yeah, it's like, damn, how do you fuck that up? Like, Ethan's never been smart. The minute that he started H3 Live, people have noticed that he really struggles with he really struggles with this filtering what he says. I don't understand like where he's like, he tries to come with a joke, but the joke really comes out as like blatant fucking like sorry, I'm a little fucking, I've been drinking a little bit or a lot of it.
All right.
He literally like make a joke and it just comes out as defamation. And it's like, how do you like with the Andrew Tate thing where he's like, he literally abducts women, and it's like, no, he literally doesn't. Like, what? There's a billion things you can hate about him. Why do you do it? Why do you lie? You don't need to lie. You could just quote what you don't like about him.
Honestly, it's just easier to hate someone like that.
Yeah.
And he knows that. So it just has people like yes men right behind him, like, yeah, like, come on, dog.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do better.
Because I've seen like the way Ethan treats people during live streams and things like that in general, which is always it's always interesting that he can get away with stuff like that because of his size. Like I've seen him like some dude that made him a fucking beanie, and the guy who made him a fucking animatronic beanie, he was like, he's supposed to come on there as a guest, and then he accidentally double booked and only had him on there for 6 seconds and told them like, yeah, kid, you got to get out of here, basically.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and he just, instead of just adding him to the panel or like moving him over in seats, they just kicked him out completely.
That's so
And he made him an animatronic beanie, and was supposed to sit down and be a guest. That shit's like, I don't know, it's pretty wild.
When you say animatronic, what do you mean?
It's like the beanie would move. Like you wear it, and it's a fucking big ass beanie that would move on his head.
Okay. Word.
Yeah, with like little like moving pieces and shit. But for the next generation, what do you think? You interested in Street Fighter 6 at all? I definitely haven't seen you talk much about it, but I don't know, how is it looking to you?
So I've been watching a lot of gameplay for it. It looks really nice, but I don't know, because like I'm really excited for Tekken 8, and like we don't really have a release date for that, but I haven't really been playing Street Fighter in general. Like the last Street Fighter I really played a lot of was Street Fighter 4.
Yeah,
I barely played Street Fighter 5.
For me,
so seeing Street Fighter 6 is like, oh, neat, but if I play it, I play it, kind of thing.
Yeah, 200%. I'm the same way. I'm not really like with Street Fighter 6. I think I like all fighting games until I play them, which is the worst. Like I'll buy a game and I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. This game looks sick, and I play it and I'm like, so like Sifu. I played Sifu and I was like, well, this game's boring.
Really?
And I was really excited for it, but when I played it, I did not have fun. It was all
Have you played it recently?
No. I don't think I played it since I bought it.
Dang.
It's like, yeah, I think I went back in for mods, and then that was it. I just wanted some modded gameplay.
The mods are kind of fire on Sifu, I'm not gonna lie.
They're pretty cool. I do like that aspect. I think the game is still like, I don't know. It's weird. I have like a weird like knob in my brain where I could turn stuff off if I don't want to like indulge in it, and then I might actually cut off my interest in it. Because like with Sifu, I wanted to not watch anyone play it, so I didn't. And then even when I played it, I wasn't interested in actually like sitting down going through it. I feel like I need to be hyped for something. I need to watch it, but I know I won't like playing Street Fighter 6. Because I think I'm done learning games like crazy.
You're done learning new mechanics and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I feel like with Tekken, I just got good at it because I liked playing it, and that was the only reason. And if I can't find a game that does that, and I know Tekken 7 is fucking running its course with me like bad. This game is so bad. The game is
the amount of shit you talk.
It's so crazy. Tell. It's so crazy. I've never played such a bad game in my life. And
it's because you've been playing so much that you've been burned out, and because you're burned out, you now look at all of the nuances in a bad light.
It's so crazy. Nuances is such a funny way to use that. Man, you fucking sound like a Harada show. Fucking nuances, fucking so trash. Man, this game bothers the fuck out of me. I don't know. It's not about me, so I'm not even gonna bring it up. But fuck Tekken.
You're like, wow, he slightly sidestepped your jab, so it missed by 1 pixel. Huh? Oh, you're getting launched for it. Wow, what a great game. Shit like that.
It's so fucked. Like I don't know. Like the game's balancing bothers me too a lot. Like each season, I feel like though this last patch is actually like decent, the characters are still overtuned. Like they don't know how to balance shit. Like Leroy, they nerfed Leroy as one of his stronger things. What? He's godlike.
He's still good. He's still a very good character.
He is great. Yeah, I don't like it. How do you nerf a character so incorrectly, where they only nerf their properties and not the moves themselves?
So to properly nerf a character like Leroy, it's hard because you'd have to take away his identity.
No, I don't even think. I'm not even talking about the parry necessarily.
No. I'm not talking about the parry. I'm talking about all of his stuff. Like all of his moves, they're Wing Chun moves. So
Sure,
like they can't be slow
that's
for
true.
one. They can't be like interruptible because they have multiple hits. Most
Mm,
usually stances are a big thing, and like
mm,
it's all about fluidity because that's how Wing Chun is. And it's like to make a character like that be balanced, he'd either have to do like no damage,
mm-hmm,
which is terrible for a game like Tekken,
mm-hmm.
and or he has to be unsafe on everything, which you
Yeah,
don't want
that's
to
true.
do for a character like that because it would make him unfun to play.
Mm. No, I do agree with that assessment in general. I think I don't know, with like I'm even talking about like specific moves like back four, forward four, and his hell sweep. Like we're just talking about those moves or like back three, where like in before this patch, they all counter hit launched or normal launched, and like
It,
as
yeah, I see. I feel you.
in the next patch they get rid of the launch from those moves, but the moves are still like range four homing pokes. And like in general, I think they just don't look at moves like when they give them to a character. I don't think they truly grasp like how they're going to be used, or if they
Mhm.
try to make how a move is used. In Tekken, it's really hard to do that, like where you make a move and then give it a purpose, which I feel like they try. Like you can usually see the attempt in like what they're trying to make this move do. Or there's like
Mhm.
moves they make that they don't actually know what to do with, like Gigas' forward forward three. They
Honestly,
they buffed it, but the move still misses at jab range.
so the thing about Gigas is that Geese is one of those characters that has potential. There's like a lot of moves that can be good,
Mm,
and then he has a bunch of moves that are either outclassed by his other moves
mm.
or like just slightly there where if they get buffed or tuned would be the ultimate move in his kit so that he wouldn't need any other moves to use and he'd be boring as hell to watch.
I think the trade off would have to be damage. Like a lot of the time,
Yeah.
because with Gigas, they can't give him anything good because of his output. Like with like
Mm.
moves like forward forward four, the move by itself is decent, but the counter hit property attached to it, it's negative 13, so it's not even balanced as it's a counter hit launcher. Because it's
Right.
only negative 13, the move does 109 damage a combo. That's not a balanced punish. Like damage to punish ratio, but the move is not good either. I don't even know how they do it. Like where they make it a shit move, but the move's too good as a shit move. Where like they may if it was put on a different character that was faster or smaller, it'd be better. But because it's on
Mm.
him, it's too important, so they can't really touch it much frame wise. I don't know. It's fucking obnoxious.
Yeah, that
Um,
goes into the same thing. You can't tune him too much.
yeah, I just think like the move could be
Those
like
characters.
better on like maybe it could be confirmable if it does like fucking like if they scale it heavy,
Mm.
but they need to go in scaling in general. I think Tekken 8's combo damage is too high, or Tekken combo damage is too high.
I
Even
feel
low
that.
parries. Low parries should give a property of like a bounded property.
So you know how they have guard breaks in Street Fighter Five, and you
Um,
know the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
crazy. So like you know which characters have like guard breaks and shit, right?
You're talking about in Street Fighter 6, right?
No, five.
Oh, and 5 specifically. So we're looking at
Specifically five.
all right. So we're talking about who?
Sagat.
Sagat. Yeah, I was about to say fucking not Bison. Who else?
So you know the mechanic, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. So you know how heavily scaled those moves are after the guard break and going into combo.
yeah, yeah.
So
So it just doesn't fucking kill you because it's a free launch.
yeah. So they could make something like that for low parries.
Yeah. Okay. That'd be interesting. Like where I think in sense they are scaled like that,
They're scaled,
but
but not to that
no,
degree.
not to that degree at all. No, you're right. They're definitely not. I think like that's why I gave up like the bounding idea, where the
Mm,
fucking they get like give or take a string, and
yeah.
that's what you get damage wise. Because like okay, characters like Gigas, if they get low parry, they can do like forward 2-1, down back 3-2, and then the pounds. And it's like, that's a fucking 60 damage combo. On a low parry, that's different. What's up?
So wait, think about it. Because in older Tekkens, when you got low parried, it was the bound.
Yeah.
So, but in Tekken 7, you can bound after them because the bound mechanic is different.
Yeah, technically you can still, yeah. I'm pretty sure. It depends. I think it depends on the bound or the character, though, I think. Maybe not, actually. I don't think bounds work on low parries.
In what, other Tekkens?
In Tekken 7. I think you can
No, you can literally bound. You tailspin.
Yeah, no, tailspin. No, I'm talking about because there are bounds in Tekken 7 still. Like characters that have those. I was just talking about the actual mechanic that they have, like the knockdown. But yeah, you still get a raw tailspin, which shouldn't be in the game.
Yeah.
For low parries, I think that's way too much because like every character in Tekken does a lot. I think 10 frames need to be scaled down in Tekken 8, in general. Like there shouldn't be 6 characters that do like 50 damage on a fucking 1-2.
Whoa, who does that?
Well, I was exaggerating, but so Akuma, Eliza, Lee, Gigas, and Heihachi.
So Lee has to keep his, bro.
No, hell fucking no. No, it's not. If you are a Lee player, you can learn it. That should not be 55 damage.
It's legacy.
I don't give a fuck. Yo, give that shit just the knockdown in Oki. Why the fuck does he get a blazing kick? Get that shit out the game. No, it's fucked up. Like getting 45 damage with Oki is absurd.
Damn, you sound like a bigot, bro.
If he got the damage and he kicked you across the screen, that's different. But he fucking gets 55 damage and then puts you in a slide mix-up. That's not balanced. I don't know what's wrong with what they do with that character. I hate that character. My fucking training partner is so good with him. It's so fucked up. Like he's like the type that like he doesn't miss the acid rain at all. He never misses.
Nice 10 frame, boyo.
Yo,
time to keep taken down.
It's fucked up because Gigas has a lot of negative 10 moves.
He does. Yes, he does.
Or he has like gaps that have like fucking 10 frame gaps. I'm not trying to get fucking acid rained every time I try to do a move. Every character in the game will get fucked up by that string. It's really good. It's probably like top 2 the best, if we're not including Akuma and Eliza.
I mean, you wouldn't count them really
because those characters fucking get jabbed DPs. Yeah, they're really fucked up. I don't know why they allowed that. Geese was like that too.
Geese is still kind of wild though.
Oh, Geese is really good. When they got rid of his launch with his 2 on his fucking parries, I'm like, okay, that's good. Then I'm like, oh wait, he has a 14 frame launcher too. I wonder if the developers do that, like where they think of something and then they go, oh wait, and then like this character got it too. You know, they're just like fucking okay, we're gonna get rid of Lay's 3-3 as a 14 frame punish, and it's like okay, 50 damage 14 frame, all right, no problem. They're like, oh wait, he got fucking forward 2-4. All right, well, that shit's fucked up.
We'll hit it in the next patch.
That shit's like, and the patches be like 2 years in between. They'll fuck up something, and then they'll be like, all right, guys, see you in 3 years. And you're like, what? Like, wait a second. Like, they left us with Leroy for like a year and a half.
Was it that long, actually?
It was maybe give or take 9 months. We had to deal with fucking pre-patch Leroy. We had to deal with...
Pre-patch Leroy, we got like a month of pre-patch Leroy. You got patch 1 Leroy.
You know what? I think you're right. We have fucking we had to deal with fucking pre-patch Leroy for about 2 months because
not because
he was still because he was still in like he got nerfed in February. He came out in December.
No, because remember when the what's it called? When he was in that first what was it?
It was Tokyo, Japan, which was the January.
Evo, right? Japan's Evo, right?
Yeah, and that was in January.
Okay.
And he got nerfed in February.
All right. Yeah, they had to see what he could do. They're like, he's not that bad.
They were fucking. Did they not see that? Because you know the worst part about Tekken fans are the community. Like in general, like where they see shit like that, and they were like, nah, we'll see how good he is in tournament. And I'm like, wait a second, have you not touched him? Have you not went into fucking practice with him? you knew
Yo,
the
this
character was
character is
strong.
OP.
You know what I mean? I think like when you fuck up that bad, we're like normal consumers. Because I wasn't even that good in 2019 or whenever that shit came out. Where like I was able to touch that shit and be like, oh, this character is fucked up. And I feel like how many people have to touch Tekken for it to come out properly?
Word.
I don't know. I don't know what it is with fucking.
Yeah, the Americans, they support esports and all that shit.
Yeah, they definitely do way better. Yeah, for sure.
That.
I don't know. It's just like we're like obviously like with the way our cultures are just different. The way we approach things, and in general, like how we don't make 3D fighting games because they're trash, and Japan still makes 3D fighting games trash. Where it's like it's like it's a weird circle of life. When I dip 80, I'm usually ready for it to be gone in 2 months. Fucking pad gang.
Nah, you wildin', bro.
It sucks. You know what it is? I only play on one side.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm saying my pad game, like fucking, they'd be lasting longer if I played on other sides. But I'd be playing on P1 side like all the time.
Yeah, I feel that. Same. Always on P1.
Yeah, but fucking man, my Claudio, that character is so sick.
See? Now you see. Now you know.
I mean, he's always been my favorite to fight. Like from fighting you a lot, and man, I'm so comfortable in that matchup. I'm so mad the times I fought Shadow, he's never used it. He's never played Claudio a single time.
He actually doesn't like the Claudio Gigas. Or Claudio versus big characters, rather.
I bet he wouldn't. Fucking, he doesn't want to get outspaced.
Yeah.
Plays Zafina. Oh, Lord. Wait till fucking Tekken's actually not bad at balancing, bud. Oh, Lord, it'd be over.
Indeed.
I almost beat him, too. Salt.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I was watching fucking Spiro play the other day. Because he fucking, I fucking offered him this fucking, because they were looking for a fight, for someone to fight Joey Fury in a 1st to 10.
Oh.
So I was like, yeah, Spiro versus Joey is a fucking classic matchup. And it is, but Spiro usually loses it every time because of the matchup. Marduk versus Eddie. That's just rough.
Oh, I thought he would use Paul, because isn't Paul good against Eddie as well?
Paul is good against Eddie, but they're both. It's really about comfortability, I think. And Marduk versus Eddie's fucking a mess. One of Eddie's worst.
All right, word. I did that.
It's just fucked up. So Spiro was losing real bad, like 7-0.
Yeesh.
And then Spiro started winning. And he made it like, I think 8-6 or 8-7. And then the fucking game crashed when he had all this momentum and he had to restart his PC.
Damn.
And then he lost, I think it was 10-8. And it's like in a matchup like that, like watching him, everyone in the crowd's like, this virtual crowd on Twitch, everyone's all like rooting for him. Like, damn, he could do it. Why the fuck is like, it's so rough. It's like watching a boss character.
Yeah, at that point, he's the super duper underdog because not a lot of people know who Spiro is.
Yeah, it's true. But man, his gameplay was so good. He was so mad he lost. I called him and I was like, oh my God, he played like a fucking crackhead. Just like the zone is so crazy. Like when you can just like, as like when you're performing and you're like getting into it. And it's like, there's just like this kind of like, for me, I can feel when I'm entering the zone. I don't know what it is, but I can like, my breath calms down. And then like, I can feel my focus like fucking like being like smushed into just one specific thing.
Word. It's so like the competitive mentality is a very different mentality. Like you play different, you feel different, and like you take wins and losses very differently as well.
Yeah, you literally can't get excited about anything, or like like when you're losing. So if I'm losing in casuals, I'm being like, oh, this is bullshit. Like this guy sucks, that thing sucks, this thing sucks. In tournament, if you just lost to some bullshit, you gotta be like, you gotta hold that like seriously, but you gotta hold it somewhere irrelevant. You gotta hold it somewhere temporary. You can't put it anywhere because you can't let it affect your game. Yeah, and I think that's what we can both like.
I gotta figure out how to deal with that. Hold on, let me get my bearings type shit.
Yeah, it's like it's a thing that we can both like understand because you obviously came from a tournament background as well. And being competitive is such a fucking poison.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I stopped playing a lot of those games competitively.
Man, I was fucking
Mostly because the stuff ended, but also the mentality that you have to have for that type of stuff, it makes it so that stuff isn't as fun.
It's definitely taxing too. Like just the idea of like when you're actually in it, when you're going to like offlines. I obviously don't have that experience, but for me, I'm able to play more mashy when I'm having fun. But then like I play differently when I'm in tournament, and I don't know. For you, do you feel like when you're playing casually offline, that it's harder to have casual fun when you're in like an environment like that?
No, I actually have more fun because a lot of the time, so in my scene, I'm like well regarded because people remember me from like back in the day. Because back in the day, I was like really fucking good, and like people used to know.
Just games in general, or like
in Smash in particular. I'm talking more about Smash because that's the relevant one for me right now.
Yep.
But yeah, back in the day, I was known as like the gatekeeper of like top 10 and shit. You got to beat me if you want to get up there, type of guy.
Damn.
And like people always see me like, yo, what's good? So, let's get play. I also played a character that was very underplayed in my region.
Yeah, Rosalina, gang.
Exactly, but it was a very important matchup because she was a top tier. So like people needed to know the matchup. So a lot of time people would ask me for games. So I got a lot of practice in, and it helped me get way better than I originally was. So like, and people like if they want matchup experience, they have to be nice to you because they have to ask questions. You can, if you're a dickhead to me, I'm not going to give you any information because I'd rather just beat your ass and be done with it.
Yeah.
So in that environment, I became one of those people that people enjoyed being around. And it made it more fun to be in that environment.
All right, that makes sense. Yeah. Where like the environment's more healthy and positive rather than because all right, I feel that.
So I never really had to deal with this stigma of toxic environments in Smash or fighting games in general.
Yeah, and they had the smell right too because they're not getting in.
Yeah, because we had a lot of female players and like a few female TOs actually. And if people were stinky, they would let you know. Offer it. They did not play no games. So a lot of guys had to act right. They couldn't come in sweaty or smelly.
Yeah, that's true.
That's something to keep in mind as well.
I wonder how many, because I'm not in the Smash community. How prevalent is that in real life? Like,
it's actually
crazy.
When we went to bigger stuff like regionals and nationals, you could actually get that because there's so many people.
Wow.
And there's always one or two people around that are like that. Damn. And it's like, it's not like, oh, it's I'm just next to this person kind of thing. It's like, damn, dog, I know exactly who smells like this kind of thing.
You know what that
and it makes it worse for everyone.
Like in school, like you remember like being in like elementary school or middle school, there are always that one kid that was like special needs or something. But I mean like that. Like in my school, there was a kid who used to leave stank on the seats.
Oh,
that you would know who it was. And well, I guess I grew up in special ed, but
so we had special ed people as well. But like my elementary school was more pristine, I guess. So there was a lot of like
white school.
I did actually.
That's what's up.
Like the school that I went to was the elementary school was well regarded in the area.
All right.
Like it was outside of my city, kind of thing.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Was it like in like one of those like top 100 schools or something?
Like, I don't remember
because I know like my high school was like that, where they were like, we're like top 100, like let's keep going, and it was like, damn.
Okay.
All these people in this area, all fucking academic and shit.
Yeah, there was a specific there was a specific wing of the building for special needs people.
Yeah, yeah. All right, cool, cool.
So like, and they were respected. Like there wasn't no, nah, you weren't allowed to do that. Like it was just like, yo, this kid, he's having a bad time. He needs a friend. Okay, we'll be friends with the kid. Like it was like that, you know.
Damn.
It's like just because he's different, you know, doesn't mean he can't be normal.
Damn.
So we learned that very early. We learned that special needs people should be treated just the same as everyone else.
That's pretty tight.
And it made a big difference.
For 200%.
So, you know.
All right. This man said no clips out of context. He's actually a super anti-bigot.
Super anti-bigot. Yeah, I can't be. I can't be. Like, the only time I'm a bigot is with people that are bigoted versus me. Yeah, I'm like, word, bro? You suck this much? That's crazy.
All right, fucking, what was I thinking? I thought of a topic that I thought would be pretty interesting. Then I forgot it. So now I'm sitting here like, damn, I'm so high.
Should have wrote it down, my boy.
Yeah, but I was just thinking about it, like literally just as you were talking. So I was like holding onto it until I just held onto it, and I just like, it was like quicksand or something. I was holding it in my hands. Then when I opened it, there was not enough sand left.
Fucking euphemism. That's OD.
What was it say? Because you're right. With like like you know how like in school there's always those rapping kids, right? Like those kids. Yeah, always. Right. So like in your area, how many of upcoming rappers did you have to have you interacted with?
Actually, not a lot of people in my area know that I make beats.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm very antisocial in everything. The only people that really know that I make beats also make beats.
Okay, that makes sense.
So like, yeah.
All right.
And if they rap on their own beats.
Yeah. No, I was just talking about in general. Like, there's always like those kids that like always branded themselves as like, you know, I'm a rapper. I'm like, all right.
So I knew a few of those guys. Like, there's this one guy I knew. He's now a DJ.
Okay, that's what's up.
Like he's big on stuff like that, but I don't really talk or reach out to people, so I don't really, you know, converse.
Because I remember there was this kid in my high school that went by the name of what was his rapper name? His rap name was like the Mill City Goon, or something like that. Where his name's like Mitch.
Big Mitch. Okay.
Yeah. So he was like this thing where like he grew up in like the best neighborhood in Chelmsford, and he wanted everyone to like his music. I've heard of it where he was involved in a fucking failed stabbing because some kid made fun of his mixtape saying his music's trash, and he tried to cut him and failed. And I'm just like, damn, because when I knew this kid, but not. Like, I've heard of all those stories from his, like, past. And then I knew him, and I'm like, damn, this kid is so good in school. I don't know why the fuck he's rapping. Like, he fucking loves science. And I was like, you know, his music's like, all right, I guess. Like, yeah. But fucking, it's like, damn.
Could be better.
Like, yeah, those people like that were, like, where they want to work towards something, you know what I mean? Like where like they want to be this grand rapper, and it's like, you know, it's because art's really personal. So I understand getting upset about it, but messing up a stabbing because someone makes fun of your music, that's different shit.
Word.
But fucking, I don't know. I just think, is there any like stories like that you've heard, like some crazy shit?
Well. Not related to like music per se.
All right, yeah.
But like I got some crazy stuff about like high school where people didn't really know what grade I was in.
Yeah.
So like they had this thing called like Freshman Friday where they would like beat up freshmen.
What? Okay. Damn. What an environment.
They would like jump freshmen and shit, right?
All right.
So I'm a freshman at the time, so I see people getting beat up and shit, but like my cousin was a Crip,
Mm-hmm.
I lived on the hilltop crypt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they like knew me from that, and I walked up, and I'm a freshman, so they looking
Mm-hmm.
at me, they like, yo, what you gonna do? I was looking at him, I was like, yo, I'm good. He's like, all right, you good? I was like, yeah. He's like, all right, I'm good too. I was like, all right, they let me walk.
That shit's fucked up because it's like one of those things, right? Where it's like, it's freshman Friday. Obviously, what they're looking for is someone to beat up and release their tension without getting hurt.
Yeah.
And if you're, because obviously you probably in freshman, and when you were a freshman, you probably weren't small. You're like fucking 5'11", 6 foot as an adult. You're probably basically that.
I grew early, yeah. So
yeah, so a lot of those times, like, people see the body weight and the height, and they're like, all right, if we even trade punches, that's just probably gonna hurt. Like I think they break it down to the most simple terms. You know what I mean? How easy it to take to rush this kid down? Not easy. He's big as fuck.
Indeed.
If I hit him, it's gonna hurt less because he's thick as fuck. If he hits me, it's gonna hurt a lot because he's thick as fuck. And it's like there's so many layers of just he's thick as fuck is why it's like, okay, it's obviously not even worth the trouble. Like, even if you win, if it's close, you're gonna look like a bum.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like there's many layers to like reasons why people don't fight or would fight someone.
Mm-hmm. Especially, I never told you this story, but there were times where I used to perm my hair back then.
Okay.
Right? So one time I was on the bus. He's like, damn, I look back. He's like, oh. I'm a whole dude, my boy. Had the Cat Williams going.
Yeah, you have you have a really young face, so I could feel like your face is pretty similar to when it was back then. Like, just probably with less facial hair.
I had no facial hair back then.
No facial hair, yeah, all right.
None at all. So, you know, people see me. I got the baby face. They're like, oh, you know, they want to fight and shit. And dude was like mad. He was like, oh, he you know, he's mad because he got ousted as a potential gay motherfucker, I guess.
All right.
And
that shit sucks.
He wanted to fight me, and I'm like, bro,
why?
what?
Why did you make him? Did you make him feel gay?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, all right.
I was like, word, bro, you into that? Say what? I'm like, all right, bro. So he wanted to fight, and we stood up, and he was like, oh shit. He's like, all right, bro. He's like, oh. And then he like recognized me because he saw him, like actually saw me. He was like, all right, bro, I don't want no problems. I'm like, all right, cool.
That shit's so funny to me. I don't know. It's like, I was always like, there was always things in my childhood I wish I didn't do, like, because I've always been able to kick really high. So something I always showed off was the how high I can kick, and then everyone would just be like, hey, can you do this kick? Then look, this guy can kick high, and I'm like, yeah, sure. I never really got into many fights, because I usually have like this, because like I have anger issues really bad, so I try to avoid that, like anything that makes me like feel really like crazy, because it's like I almost feel like it's like literally like a Karama's like bubbles in a sense. So where like when I'm starting to get angry, yeah, it's like it's like going, like I can feel it, and like I start shaking, and I'm like, oh shit, like I recognize I'm like, I need to calm down, because fucking because it's not, I don't like talking like crazy unless it's already there or something, like in general, as long as I know, like if there's like, there's no reason to talk if there's like real life shit where it's ready to, like, you know, if that shit happens, it's gonna happen. But in school, I always try to calm down because I wasn't able to control it as well. So like, there's this fucking kid. We were like messing around, where I was like, I was like doing like fucking like Chinese blocking, like they do in the old kung fu movies. And he like slapped me in the face, and I was like, all right, you know, we're fucking messing around. I missed. It's cool. And then he like said some shit, and I'm like, so what's up? Like, I was sitting there, and I'm just like, you think you'd actually beat me or something because you slapped me one time? And I started going like fucking, I felt it, and I was like, oh, I need to fucking relax. And I like kind of sat back. He didn't really say anything. He went back to his desk, and I was like fucking like, I couldn't calm down. Like I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm like fucking, my hands are shaking, and like on this desk where I'm just so angry. Then I'm like, damn, like things like that are crazy. I'm fucking getting angry now just thinking about it. Just as like just the feeling I can just live secondhand through my own anger. That shit's addictive. But I remember when we met up in real life, and that kid asked us for cigarettes. That kid never came across the two most like non-smoking individuals in his life.
I don't. Yo, I don't smoke, bro. Oh, you don't smoke.
That shit's so funny because imagine like, because that probably took a lot of like confidence to build up, right? Like where he was probably like just talking to himself, like, okay, I gotta ask these guys. I want to smoke because I want. Obviously, it's like a trauma thing or like a want to fit in thing, which can come with its own trauma, I guess. But like, so obviously, this kid was like probably building it up a lot, and then he like finally asked him, and just like, what? I'm gonna fucking buy you no cigarettes. Like a freshman fucking Friday, his ass.
That's a new term now. Somebody get into Tekken for the first time, call it Freshman Friday.
That'd be really like that, like a beginner tournament called Freshman Fridays. That'd be sick.
That'd be sick. That'd be so sick.
We gotta get on it. But then the thing is though, is that at the end of the tower they have to fight Shadow.
That'd be so crazy.
Or like the tournament format is that there's always like there's like a 32 beginners and then 32 good players, and they're all put together. Where like one bad player, one good player, one bad player, one good player.
Bro, did I tell you about that Naruto tournament that I won? That was like that?
No, I didn't hear about it.
Bro, we went. So I came with a bunch of people I knew, right? And they and it was at a library, in like one of their like halls.
Yeah.
And it was like one side of the bracket was all of us, and the other side of the bracket was a bunch of kids.
Right.
So I beat the shit out of all my homies. I'm like, fuck, bro. And a single elim. No double, single.
Okay.
So I'm just like smoking these dudes. I'm like, fuck, man. So I get the grand finals and it's a fucking kid, bro. So I'm just like, damn.
That's why seeding's important.
Yeah, it really is. Like, I beat the kid so bad, I felt bad after. I was like, yo, I don't even want the prize, bro.
It's because it's single elim. Like in Naruto, you really could only find that out within that health bar. They're like fucking him up, and you're like, okay, I'm just getting him on the tech traps, and you're like, wait a second. Maybe he doesn't even know what he's doing. But he like by the time you probably beat him was the time you realized that he probably didn't know anything about the game at all.
What's wild is that he knew well, like he knew how to play well. It's just he didn't know like anything I was doing, like setups and shit.
Yeah, no, it's really different. Like it's really like even like I'll play it casually sometimes, and there's things that you'll do at such a minor level that it's hard to grasp. Like the substitution timing, like where you know what position you'll be in after a substitution. So we're like, I don't really know where you're going to be after a substitution. That's just real teleportation to me. You are going to block this move and purposely sub it to be like above me. I'm like, well, how am I supposed to know he's going to be in the air? He knew he was in the air. I didn't know he was in the air. I'm over here mashing, and now he's like air blocking and fucking me up.
You gotta get that shit on PC, bro. It's a different breed. It
probably is. It's just I didn't get this job first. Now that we're moving, I have more. Like I think I'm really close to just being like, fuck it. I'm just gonna work in whatever fast food place just for the extra money, on top of commentary or whatever.
Shit, I can buy you a CD key for $5. Shit.
CD key, damn man, trying to beat my ass.
Nah, it's mostly for Poise, because Poise the one talking shit. Man, I've been playing with Poise, and Poise picking up on some of my habits. I'm like, oh, work? You almost got around, bro.
Yeah.
That's so grimy.
Poise likes mashing.
Poise
mashing as a game.
Yeah. Well, it's mashing at that level. Yeah. Like, I'm just like, I'm not mashing here, because I already know if you mash, I can win this. Like, at like higher level Naruto, that sounds wild, but it's higher level, it's a very defensive game, extremely defensive. That's why I
One of
jump
my
and throw
teachers liked
shurikens
it, but
so
I
much.
didn't even know like how deep the thing goes. Where like gameplay wise, like you would think a game like Naruto doesn't have the layers that it does, and it's the layers like the game's fucking like 50,000 characters deep. Like each of them have
Yeah,
their own ass gimmicks, setups. They might not all be good, but in a 3v3 fighter, you're damn well gonna have to go against a good character every team.
bro. So the thing about did I tell you about the guys that got really mad at me for using Shino?
No, no.
So these dudes I'm playing against, right? And I'm playing random versus this one guy,
Yeah.
and we're going back and forth. We're both, playing and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And he invites me to an endless with his friend. Like, all right, I'll join it. I'll just pick Shino, whatever.
Yeah, because Shino's not good. It's just like when you're at that
Shino
level.
Is terrible.
When you're at that level
He's
of like technicality,
terrible.
it's like it's one of those things where like, well, because I think Kid Shino's like mid, isn't he? Isn't like, or is it?
Kid Shino's better than normal Shino, I think,
right, yeah,
personally, because he can brawl better. He can like fight.
All right,
but
that
like,
makes sense.
But like, I think Shino has a niche if he has the right support.
Okay.
Honestly.
Yeah.
But the dude, I had the right support because I made the team. So I'm playing against the dude, and the dude, he beats me barely, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a better player than me, and he's using better characters, obviously. And I'm like, all right, well, he's not a better player than me. I can't say that. He's kind of butt.
Right.
But he had better characters. And I'm like, he invites me to a party. I'm like, I'll join the party. I'm like, oh, good game, bro. He's like, yo, we gotta talk about that bug shit, bro. You throwing shit the whole game. You throwing shit. Like, I'm playing a bottom tier character, right? Like that's his gimmick. That's how he plays. Like he can't do anything. Like if I really wanted to beat your ass, I'd pick Pain and Itachi and just use top tier shit. But I don't want to do that because I want to have fun.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, my niggas don't know how to play this game. Honestly. Like if I always tell people if I really want to win, I'll just play Danzo or Itachi or something.
No, thank you. Man, we've seen the shit is different. The scream's different.
Like I just play like those characters. There is such a gap.
Or like Datara, like where you're really good at like knowledge checking, where it's like you use these shits are crazy.
Yeah, like characters like that, like the projectile characters, they're never good unless they have the right support. And even then, you can counter their projectiles by staying out of their range. Like the only character that has like infinite range that has good speed on that range is Datara, and he has to be stationary to throw those.
Yeah.
And the problem with being stationary in that type of game is that he has to eat a lot of trades. And trading in that game, when you're doing like very little damage as opposed to a character like Itachi that fucking just melts your health bar, you don't want to take those trades. And people don't understand that. They're like, oh, these characters are broken. It's because you run in like a dumbass. Just stay back and let them kill themselves.
To be fair, it's actually really hard to actually grasp like the level of zoning that you're actually going up against. Because it's like, think of like Street Fighter, where they have that like kind of like the fireballs, right? But it's like, okay, well, it's like fighting a player that is really good at anti-airing with DP and fireballs timing. Where if you don't know how to deal with that, with like very patient get-in, you are going to feel like a fucking idiot. Like you're going to be sitting there not understanding how to get past this wall. And Datara, it has that wall.
Yeah. Yep. That's why a lot of the time when I'm fighting Datara, I let them become impatient. So I stay out of their combo range, because like there's a combo range they can do where I believe it's the third attack out of their shuriken combo. They throw a flurry of birds, and then the fourth one is like the big one. But the flurry of birds is very hard to dodge. So what you have to do, you have to jump to the side and throw a shuriken. Either the shuriken's going to hit him or it's going to trade, and it's going to stop his combo. So when you say it's like Hadoken, it's more like, imagine if all of your characters had Ibuki's kunai.
All right, all right,
It's like that.
all right.
The kunai doesn't do much damage, but it stops the zoning.
And it's literally a kunai, 1-to-1.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, in Naruto, it's really interesting because the fucking like really, if we were putting it like, okay, right, let's pretend like there was like a 3D arena fighter that was with hands only. The kunai is really like a jab.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
it's like
jab.
Yeah, it's literally like it's as if like if you're playing like this fucking 3D arena fighter where you're swapping punches and they're really big and then you're able to do like a flick left jab. That's really what a kunai kind of is in that scenario, where it's just checking them, but it's like an all range check if they're staying still.
That's why Demon Slayer is so weird to me. Because like there's no shurikens in that game, and the movement is a little different. So like you get punished for jumping in that game. You can't jump block, and you don't recover your energy when you're jumping.
I have to get that on PC too, because I know you've gotten pretty decent at it. I feel like every time I like
I actually don't play it. Don't play it.
Yeah, but you definitely play it more than me. This is what I'm saying. You fucking
yeah.
And you got that legacy.
I'm really good at Susumaru, and I learned to touch a death with her, so I was kind of fucked up.
You're talking about the butterfly character, right?
No. That's Shinobu. Susumaru is the one that throws the balls.
All right, that bitch. All those balls are children.
Children. I thought she does really bad damage, but then I learned how to do enders with her, and I was like, oh,
yeah. No, in that game, I think it's actually pretty depth. Like it has a lot of depth to it.
Yeah, it does. I agree.
But I think it's like wrapped in like a layer of casuality. That's not a word. Of like this realm of like where it's on the face of it, and like a lot of it is hella mashy. Like where like your moves like they have characters. Water wheel. Oh my lord. Yo, water wheel characters got to get the fuck out of there. I'm tired.
The problem I have with the game is that the block isn't that good. So like you are more susceptible to being taken advantage of by
the push block is like the only way you can even like deal with things outside of like trying to kill yourself with a parry.
Exactly.
And
like over aggression is so prominent. Like defense isn't that great.
That's actually with every fighting game this era though.
That's true.
Like how many fighting games come out in like the new 2021s, 2020s that are defense based?
Yeah.
Like
that's true.
Dragon Ball Fighters, I remember when that game first came out, I was like, wait, why don't I get meter for backdashing? But you get meter for forward dashing. And
at least blocking in that game isn't too bad.
No, like it's a normal Marvel. It's a normal Marvel like block thing. I've never been good at that because I don't like blocking for 6 years. In a mix up.
See, that's where we differ. I'm a very defensive player, so like I'm cool with being defensive as long as I understand the game.
For me, my play style I think in Tekken is defensive, but I like mashing. It's only as defensive as
you like the game going forward is a good way to put it.
Yeah, sure, for sure. Like I'm really only playing against your health bar. The minute I pass that, then you're fighting against the time.
Word.
I love that aspect of Tekken, like where I like stalling the game out really long, just like in a sense of like, or sometimes like in tournament I like going for the kill. Like I like playing the game, and then once I feel that weakness is when I like go full offense, like where it's like crazy levels of mashing, where like I'm taking my offense, fake frames, ducking at -9. If you jab, motherfucker, oh lord, you better be jabbing. Like it's bad. Like I know when I get into it, it's over. Like I'm over here pressing like crazy, and then if I get counter hit, I'm like, all right, I don't believe it. I'm mashing again. Like it's like that layer of like I think it's like almost like because you just get absorbed in it. You know what I mean? Like where it's like okay, boom, 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 we're moving, and then when you get hit, you're like, I don't believe it. We're doing it again.
Word.
As if like everyone doesn't have flowcharts at this level. Like when you just like play so much, everyone already has their built-in flowchart.
That's real.
The Gigas' flowchart's fucked up. If you genuinely don't understand how to fight Gigas, you'll lose instantly. I understand. When people tell me that they don't like fighting Gigas, I'm like, I get you, brother. I fought a Gigas in 3-bar, and I've never looked back since. Never played him ever again. I've won, and I was pissed.
Gigas is so unique that he needs those gimmicks to be interesting.
Yo, it's so fucked up. Because the thing is, what I've realized a lot of the time is it's strictly animations that saves him. The animations on his moves or the animations on the opponent's block is what saves him. If all of his moves that were launch punishable stunned, like when he does it and then he goes, ugh, he would be so fucked. Everyone would know how bad he is if they played him like, if you know what I mean, if they gave him the proper animations and blocks done, but they purposely make him do moves that are really 0 on block, but they look +7.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what saves him, genuinely. Like, when Harada's like, Gigas is a good character, and all these people are complaining, I'm just like, damn, that's crazy that he thinks he's good. Harada's ass at the game. I can't even trust his opinion when he thinks he's good.
To be fair, Gigas does seem like a good character at lower level.
I would say Gigas is a good character up until you actually are, like, high level. Like, the minute that you break, like, Josie's like that, too. I hear fucking...
I agree as well.
One of our players here in Boston, Malik, hot like fire, he was like, hey, because somebody was like, hey, my fucking little brother's getting into Tekken, and he wants to play Josie. Malik's like, don't let him do it. Josie's too hard. And I'm like, bro, Josie's not hard until you play against fucking top tier players. Josie's the freest character in the game until like fucking top 2%, 3%.
Honestly, when it comes to picking up characters, I always tell people play who you want to play.
It's always important.
Unless you want to learn the mechanics of a game. You want to learn the mechanics, you pick the most bare bones character that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like first you have to find your love in order to even learn how to play the game. Like
exactly.
Like play who you like to play. Like when I play, like when people ask me, like what character, because I play every character, and when people talk to me, they're like, I need to learn how to play every character. I'm like, no. You really shouldn't. I have a mental disorder. Don't follow my footsteps. It's not healthy. like where it's like, okay, like people are like, man, okay, I need to learn every character to learn this matchup. Like, no. How about you play your main character and figure out the matchup based on key things that you learn when playing against the character. There is no reason to lab against characters that you have no idea what they do. Like characters like Link, you can't lab against Link. You have to grind against Link. You can't lab Link. That's impossible. There's so many characters that, like, in the game where you lab them, you'll never lab them effectively enough, like Lee. You can lab Lee all you want. His block frames are not what you're worried about. You got to worry about what he is when when you're blocking and you're at wall. That's what you need to worry about. This character has, like, backflips that are -1, and then he can mash 2, and if you jab, he'll trade with you and you die. I'm like, why? Why is 2-2-2-3 so fucked up? I've never even seen no fucking string of that in my bitch-ass life. I hate that shit. Yo, that character is different.
But the Tekken 4 loops.
Oh, yeesh.
Tekken 4 1-2 loops.
Oh.
I used to be a demon.
Man. Like, fucking, like, even, like, I know you used to love, with Law's backflips, too.
Yeah, I used to be a Law player back in Tekken 2.
Man, that's brave shit. And who do you play in DOA? On top, outside of DOA, like DOA 4 or the ones you played in tournament, like, or like ones you played.
So I used to play a lot of Jan Lee, and I played a lot of Spartan because I liked Halo a lot.
All right, yeah, that's cool. I never played Spartan, but they look really cool. It's like Rachel.
Yeah, they literally gave all of Spartan 2's moves to not Spartan 2. Whatever, you don't care about the number. They gave all her moves to Rachel.
Yeah, did you know that Spartan in DOA 4 is the one that killed Master Chief in DOA 5? I mean, Halo 5.
Master Chief's not dead. What?
Nah.
Huh?
It's the same.
Court?
You never even played the games.
You good?
No, man, I'm trying to Matt Hoffa you. I'm trying to math you real quick.
It's all good. You tried.
I'm trying to get some clickbait. But,
clickbait.
But,
I feel that.
I might actually still use it as clickbait. That's decent. Here, thank you for coming on and fucking doing this extra like 50 minutes because I'm so lost on topics.
I feel you, bro. I, I was more than happy to talk about some shit.
Hey guys, if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe, and give me a in the chat. Alright, peace.